Arkan, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the 12 Shahs, Yasha Allah given the course. All honor, glory, and praise unto the Most High God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. That's all praises, honor, glorification unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of his own begotten Son, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah. All right, brother Yasharala,
Brother, you want it though?
Khan, coming back to y'all yet another video through the Spirit power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shah, man. All right. So, we like to get straight into this. All right, or Salakia. Before I say that, Shabbat Shalom to the 12 that's observing it Friday, sundown to Saturday, sundown through the Spirit. All right, another day of praying, another day of you know, reading, another day of resting, all praises, and another day of congregating with like-minded individuals that are in this truth, man. All praises. So yeah, Shabbat Shalom to Barzia. Hey, all praises, King.
Shabbat
Good to see you.
Shalom.
Yahba Shinam Shabbarakatham, man. All right, so we'd like to get straight into this. Kind of touching into again Isaiah 19. We've been going into Isaiah 19 previous lives, breaking it down, looking at it in depthly, seeing how it applies to not only the ancient Egypt but also to now. All right, since we are living during the time of modern day Egypt. All right, so these prophecies are still applicable to now. All right, especially in Isaiah 19. So as we start to go towards the end of Isaiah 19, we do see how we do see more so how it does apply to now. Okay. So let's go to Isaiah 19. We're gonna skip we're gonna start off at verse 14. I believe in the previous live we were leaving off around there. So we're gonna kick it off back at Isaiah 19 and verse 14 because I just want to re-emphasize a point that we kind of were making in the previous live. All right, as we were kind of winding down in the previous live. So let's definitely get into it. So let's go to Isaiah chapter 19 and verse number 14. Through the Spirit.
Come. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 19 and verse 14. The Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err and every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
Yeah, so the Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. So the Most High, so like the Most High is mingling a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt. So this applies to now and also applies to back then. But the Most High always has perverse spirits, essentially mingling in people. All right, a perverse spirit essentially is what? First of all, what does perverse even mean? Let's get that definition. Right. Let's
Come.
look up what perverse means. Right. So when you go to perverse meaning in the dictionary, you know, and if you want to find if you had another definition, you can also bring it out as well. But when you look it up on the on Google, it means what of a person or their actions showing a deliberate and obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unreasonable or unacceptable, often in spite of the consequences. So basically, just this proud, arrogant person that is against the norm. All right, that's irrational. That's contrary to the norm. That's contrary to what's orthodox, right? So it says what contrary to the accepted or expected standard of practice. It also means sexually perverted, right? Like a pervert. You kind of hear that word being thrown around a lot. So the word perverse essentially means someone that's against that norm. All right. It says perversion is a form of human behavior which deviates from what is considered to be orthodox or normal. Although the term perversion can refer to a variety of forms of deviation, it is most often used to describe sexual behaviors that are considered particularly abnormal, repulsive, or obsessive. So that's essentially what the word perversion means. And so when we look back at this, and also Salaki, I want to also pull up the etymology of the word as well. Perverse as an adjective means wicked, all right, unnatural, degenerate, perverse, contrary, turned away from the Latin, turned away, contrary, right? Turned away from what is wrong. Salaki, turned away from what is right, wrong, malicious, spiteful, to corrupt. So a corrupt spirit, essentially. A corrupt spirit. That's what the Most High is sending in the midst of Egypt. a perverse spirit, a corrupt spirit, a backward spirit. And we see that all the time in America. America is backwards, man. You know, and that is the perverse spirit that's being mixed in the midst of Egypt right now. And they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. So, what's the perversion that we see in America? We see older men with underage people. I should say underage individuals, underage children. You know, kind of getting with them, man. It could be a boy or a girl, man. That's what we see in America. And we see what else do we see? Obviously LGBT, you know. We see these perverse spirits being mixed in the midst thereof. Perverts, perversion, just all men of perversion in America. That's what we see. And that's the Most High mixing or mingling that perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt, you know. Um, It says, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. What's crazy about this is when you look at the president, the so-called president of Babylon, the so-called president of America, you know, he's like a drunken man that staggers in his vomit. You know, he's causing Egypt to err in every work. Him and his so-called administration and the leaders that came before Biden, that kind of lead up to Biden, all their decisions that they're making is actually being a how can I say this? It's actually working against America, right? All the decisions that they make is actually working against America. You know, Trump is talking about, well, under Biden's America, economy is bad. You know, gas prices skyrocket, all this other stuff. You got a lot of people complaining about the administrative decisions that Biden has made for America, you know, and that's just a perverse spirit. Well, when you look at and you examine Biden and how he acts like a drunk man. And so, since Biden is the face of America, being the president, the leader of America, right? I mean, you look at him, he acts like he's drunk, man. You know, because just like how a drunken man acts, because that's kind of how he acts. You know, on stage in front of live TV, in front of the whole world. He slurs in his words, right? Hold on, I'm gonna pull up certain videos on that, right? I had a list of the videos. You have something on that, through the spirit?
Um, I did, but if you want to bring out the video,
Yeah,
if you
Yeah, I'm gonna
can.
yeah, bring up these videos real quick as well to kind of show forth that, man, right? To
Can I
kind of
bring
show
it up?
forth that, yeah, because it's crazy. So first of all, I want to bring out this, right? Because some people are like, hey, how is Biden drunk? He doesn't drink. How is that possible? Well, here's the thing. It's from the website uh nedirect.gov UK. All right. So this is on alcohol and how it affects you. So how does it affect the brain? It says alcohol dulls the parts of your brain that control how your body works. This affects your actions and ability to make decisions and stay in control. Alcohol influences your mood and can also make you feel down or aggressive. As the concentration of alcohol in your bloodstream increases, your behavior and body functions change. At first, you may feel happy and less inhibited, but after several drinks, you'll probably slur your words, have blurred vision, lose your coordination, man. Right? And that's what Biden does. He loses his coordination all the time. You know, he slurs his words all the time. He looks like he has blurred vision by all the times that he squints his eyes when he talks. Right? So again, this is all on a spiritual level. The Most High is saying that America is drunk. America is like a drunken man that staggers in his vomit. What does it mean to stagger? Right? This is what it means to stagger. You know, you're tripping, you're falling, you know, you're walking. You ever seen a faded person try to walk? You know, that's why they do the line test. Walk this line straightly. You know, The cops pull you over, say you've been drinking. You say no. Okay, well, perform this test for me. Put your hands out, and walk this straight line. And 9 times out of 10, if you're drunk, you can't do it. You fall, start walking backwards, might faint. You can't do it. It's really hard to. So this is America right now. Staggering, vomiting, because they're drunk. The Most High did that though. The Most High made them drunk with their own wine. And we're bringing that out in the previous video as well. All right. So Salaki, I'm gonna bring out these videos real quick. So let's see. All right. Let me copy this. Right, and paste this into this. So I got like 3 videos.
For now ranks.
Got like 3. Actually, Salaki like 2. All right. Let's go to that one too. All right. Yeah, here we go. All right. As the brother said, hindrance, man. All right. Brother said hindrance. Here we go.
For #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in store. Visit sleepnumber.com to learn more.
The meeting. If you don't have a game plan, he may have a game plan. He just hasn't shared it with me. But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed. We talked about at the conference overall. We talked about stability. We talked about making sure that the third world, the Southern Hemisphere had access to changes, it wasn't confrontational at all.
Thank you, everybody. This ends the press conference. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Are you putting U.S. strategic interests above human rights here?
I've raised it with every person I've met with.
Mr.
President, are you worried about your son being indicted, Mr. President?
Yeah, so you see how he always slurs his words. Now we know that he's not drunk, literally, but he's a representation of what America is right now. America is on its way out. It's very old, slurring their speech like a drunken man, staggering, like a drunken man in his own vomit. This is just a representation of what America is, how America really looks. America's not this big, strong guy anymore. We're at the end of this man's kingdom right now. So Biden is a perfect representation of what America looks like, or how America is for real.
Holocaust, 65 years.
And here is.
And it's stunning that we've gotten to this point. We need to fully appreciate how it's wrong, how this is being viewed around the world.
Now, this next clip we're about to show you is hard to dismiss.
5 years since the deadliest day of the Jewish people since the Holocaust. 65 years.
And here is the president earlier this year speaking about the government's commitment to infrastructure.
Over $1.3 billion.
And here
So you got Australia making fun of Biden. So they're making a video of his worst. They say the worst gaffes, the worst F-ups basically of Biden of 2023. So they're making fun of it, man. But this is what America. This is the face of America, so, and that's why the Most High is likened in America to a drunk man that staggers in their own vomit. That slurs their speech, that doesn't know what's going on. He's fulfilling this prophecy, right? On a metaphorical level, right? He slurs his speech. His decisions are essentially inhibited. Not because he's drunk off of real wine, because he's drunk off that spiritual wine. Because just like how the Most High says in Isaiah, he said they're drunk, but not with wine. Not with real wine, but they are drunk though. and he is the face of essentially his whole administration. You know, he's the face of that. The whole America is drunk in their own wine that they made Israel to be drunk with, that they made all the other nations to be drunk with, and because of that, their demise is close. You know, but it's like you got it, King.
Hey, no, Con, that's beautiful points, King. Beautiful points. I just wanted to bring out how you know, 19 Isaiah 19 and 14. Right, smooth jazz music is crazy. Kind that's right. So,
Yeah.
right, because the Lord said in Isaiah 19 and 14, the Lord had mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof. And when obviously when you go into that perverse, it means wicked, right? And that's that wicked spirit, that's that perverse spirit that's in the midst of Egypt right now, of Babylon the Great. Around everybody, wherever you go, whatever you see, it's a wicked spirit in the middle of everything, right? That's why we're not supposed to be in the middle of everything. You know, the Lord never said, join yourself to this world, you know. Um, I got two precepts real quick. First, I want to get this in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, and verse 14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked, right? And go not in the way of evil men. So we're not supposed to be in that path or even go into that path of the wicked, right? Nor it says, and go not in the way of evil men, because that's what's going to get you to go off. That's what's going to get you going back into the world. Obviously, we got to know that, hey, that perverse spirit is in the midst of Egypt right now, right? It says, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Hey, so by all means, don't be in the middle of that spirit, you know, because a Babylon the Great, Egypt got that perverse spirit in the midst thereof, you know. It says right verse 16 says, for they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Right, this is the point. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Hey, so they have been made drunken with that wine of Babylon. They eat the bread of wickedness, right? They don't know what the hell is going on. They don't know what they're doing, because obviously, like you know, the scriptures say they drinking too much, right? They drunk, and when you're drunk, you don't know what you're doing. You may say some things that you may not know what the hell you say. You may wake up the next morning and say, you know, your brother might call you up, your sister may call you up and say, hey, do you remember you did this? And you're like, nah, I don't remember nothing.
Yep.
Hey, not even knowing, you ran somebody over, right? You may have said something to somebody, and that may have caused a whole uproar. You know, that's why we have to be, we got to be sober and vigilant. You know, what kind of brothers got it?
That's right. That's right. Yep. Yeah, and America so like yeah, that drink, it makes you proud too. You know, now you start saying things that you don't really mean. You know, and that's why America is so proud, is because they're off that drink. You know, if you have ears to hear, and that drink being what, that wine of their fornication. You know, that wine of violence, as the brother said, the wine of on the left hand side. You know, so that's and again, when you're drunk, you know, I never been drunk, but you know, according to what people say, when you're drunk, you know, or when they're drunk, and guess what? They can't make decisions for real. You know, it's hard for them to make decisions. It's hard for them to think straightly. You know, why is that? Is because neurologically, this liquor or this alcohol that you're drinking prohibits your mind from making judgments, because it affects that part of the brain, that you know, judgment making, essentially part of the brain. So inhibits you from thinking straight. So the same way how that wine affects us on a physical level, it's affecting, that spiritual wine is affecting Babylon on a spiritual level. And that's why they can't make good decisions right now.
Come on.
You know, they're like, well, got that damn civil war almost brewing up in Texas, right? Why you got Biden worried about Iran, and Syria and things of that nature. Now he's worrying about Russia, right? Then he's worrying about gay rights. It's like, come on, man. You don't know what to do right now. You're drunk, right? You can't make decisions. But this is all the hand of the Most High. All right, it's all the hand of the Most High. So let's keep going in that though.
Come, verse 15. It said, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do.
Yeah, meaning essentially, and we're going into that in the last videos as well, the other videos. But there's not going to be any work. And if there's not any work in Egypt, the head or tail, meaning the least to the greatest, the least to the greatest people, least to the greatest occupations, to the janitor, all the way to the business consultant, to the construction worker, all the way up to the, whatever position you are, cardiologist. There's not going to be any work for Egypt because the economy is going to fail. All right, branch or rush may do. All right, let's go up into verse 16.
Come, in that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it.
In that day, Egypt shall be like unto women. What does that mean? Meaning that Egypt will be afraid and they'll be weak. Right? That's just what it means. All right, that's what it means. Egypt will be like unto women. They're going to be weak and they're going to be afraid. All right, because of what? It says, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it. Because of the judgment, all right, that shall come to Egypt. Even when you look at different translations, in the NLT, for example, it says, in that day, the Egyptians will be as weak as women. They will cower in fear beneath the upraised fist of the Lord of heaven's armies. It says in the NIV, in that day, the Egyptians will become weaklings. They will shudder with fear at the lifted up hand that the Lord Almighty raises against him. Right? This is mighty. This verse is mighty right here. All right, because the Most High shaking the hand over Egypt. And what's making Egypt scared right now? The prophets. And that's what that's going into in verse 17 as well. All right. These verse 16 and verse 17, and even the people that have added these paragraph markers understand that verse 16 and 17 are talking about the same thing. All right, let's read verse 17 as well. We'll knock out two verses.
Come, 17. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he had determined against it.
So first we're going to touch on Egypt being like unto women. Now that's just a phrase in the ancient world that they use because people always want to talk about this. People read this right now, they'll be like, oh, that's sexist. So all women are weak. At this time in the ancient world during the time of Isaiah, women did not go out to war, right? Women didn't go out to war, right? Women were in their femininity and men were in their masculine, all right? During this time, I would say probably over 90%. The whole world was like that. The men were go out to war. So, if Egypt is being like unto women, that means that essentially they're being vulnerable. Egypt will be vulnerable. Egypt will be afraid. Egypt will fear, right? So let's go to Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 41. Right? To get that same type of phraseology, a precept for that.
Con, you said Jeremiah 38 and what?
Jeremiah 48 and verse 41.
48 and 41. Con. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 48 and verse 41. And it reads, Kerioth is taken, and the strongholds are surprised. And the mighty men's hearts in Moab at that day shall be as the heart of a woman in her pangs.
God, you see that? So even for Moab, it says, "And the mighty men's hearts in Moab at that day shall be as the heart of a woman in her pangs, afraid, distressed, scared." It's the same thing. It's the same type of language, and this is the language that the Bible uses to describe how these mighty men will not be so mighty in that day. Right? Let's go to Nahum chapter 3 and verse 13. Like just and Jake uses that same phraseology now. You know, Jake, he'll be like, "Hey, stop acting like a girl," right? He say, "Hey, stop acting like a girl, man up." And he would say, "Hey, stop crying like a, a B word."
Right.
Hey, stop crying like a B word, you know. So, and that's what Jake he uses that same phraseology right now. So it's that same type of phraseology that he used in the ancient world. We're using it now, right? What for example, let's say on the basketball field, or Slocky on the baseball field, you know, hey, they'll say, "Hey, stop throwing like a girl, man." Meaning what? You gotta throw with some power behind it, with some strength behind it, you know, or stop running like a girl. So it's not that we're trying to put down women, or that the Bible's trying to put down women. It's that during the time of the context, right? Again, women did not go out to war, not fight, they did not defend the city. That was a man's job. So when the Lord says Egypt shall be like women, saying, look, they're going to be afraid, they're going to be weak, they're not going to be able to save themselves, right? In that day. Let's go to Nahum chapter 3, verse 13.
Comments Nahum 3 and 13. Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. The gates of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies. The fire shall devour thy bars.
Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women. Meaning what? They're
Yeah,
scared, they're afraid, cowards, you
God.
know? Yeah, That's what hey, look, you gotta take it how it is, man. That's what the Bible says, man. Right? NLT says your troops will be as weak and helpless as women,
See
right?
that?
See, the NLT got even more descriptive, you know, because again, it wasn't a woman's job, right? Now you got in America, now you have women in the army in America, you know, and a whole lot of folly goes behind that too, right? Don't even want to get into it. We got women in the army. You got uh, you know, I believe you even have transgenders in the army now in America, right? You even have that transgender commercial with the army, right? Hold on, let me kind of pull that up right now.
That's crazy. I didn't even know there was one.
Right. Watch this. Let's see, army. Let's see here. It was like a animation. Yeah, it was like an animation. Let's see here. No, it was like an animation. If I can't find it, it's all right. But it's like an animation as well. Let me see. Well, I did see it. So it was basically a video comparing Russia's army to America's army. So you know, so yeah, so literally, and this verse can be applied literally too, right? Your troops are women, right? If you want to get technical, but we know it to be on a metaphorical level, right? So let's go to let's see here. We go to Jeremiah 30 and verse 6 as well. Right. Jeremiah 30 and 6.
Come. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, and verse 6. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness?
That's right. And ask you now and see whether a man does travail with child, right? And now this is during the time of Jacob's trouble. We know that. But there will be war during Jacob's trouble. World War III will be happening, right? During Jacob's trouble as well, or leading up to it. And so Jeremiah's like, why do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail? You see that? So we see that same type of phraseology all throughout the Bible, right? Like a man's giving birth, he's crying, he's wailing. It's like woman is giving birth right here, man. You know, you ever witness a woman giving birth? It's all hell breaking loose. You know, so it's the same thing. So he's like, damn, ask that man if is he giving birth? Nah, that's the pain and the tribulation that's going to come upon the earth, man. Right. So let's go to the brother Barzy up, man. Kind of had oh yeah, Con. This is it right here at the water, right? I think this is it right here. Right. Yeah, Con. This is it, the water. So I'm gonna put it up right now. All right, I'm gonna put that up right now. All right. All right, so here it is. Here it is right here. Pull this up. All right.
我们已经习惯打倒。
我去！准备动员大会，现在开始。
一声道，是一句承诺。
军长同志，一方阵准备完毕，请指示。好，
一声道，是一种特赦。一声道，是一次重塑。
各族人民，心里怀上自己。
一声道，是一场冲锋。我们用生命扛起使命，我们用忠诚筑起长城。
Yeah, so like, and this is Moab right here, and so anyone who watches this, it's kind of like you can't understand what they're saying, but it's like, dang, that army looks like mighty, the army looks mighty, man, kind of like gets you hyped up. It's like, dang, okay, you got the tanks, you got the men being men, going to war, going to battle, sacrificing, right? Everything else.
与时俱进，使人民军队不断发展的康庄大道。人民军队的力量来自改革开放，人民军队的胜利来自改革开放。
军国召唤，我必到。一声道。
Yeah, so they're all in order. So I'm gonna skip to the Russian one.
Уже никого не волнует. Теперь важно то, кем ты будешь сегодня. Что ты знаешь о себе? На что ты способен? Вопросы могут остаться без ответов, но разве ты сможешь потом спокойно спать? Знать себя, познать границы своих возможностей. К черту границы. Ты готов ломать себя до изнеможения. Каждый день здесь боль закаляет. Шрамы, повседневность. Это ты решил себе что-то доказать. Командир здесь только для того, чтобы ты мог увидеть в нем врага. Потому что без врага нет боя, а без боя нет победы. На самом деле...
Hey, he hits you with that death stare, man. It's like, dang, okay.
Враг — это ты. Вчерашний ты. Твоя задача — выследить врага, догнать его, превзойти, стать лучше, чем он, и вернуться назад победителем. Потому что завтра первый день твоей новой жизни.
So that was Russia. So you watched Moab, Russia. Now this is about America.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California with a little girl raised by two moms.
It's like, what the heck? Like, why? Like, this is like ridiculous. You know, why are we even? Why does it start there? Why does she have to have two moms? That's the question, right? What happened to the traditional? Anyways, man, like it's crazy. Like you compare Moab, you compare Russia, and then all of a sudden, America, it's like a girl in California. It had to be California, right? I believe this is Santa Monica. They're trying to emulate, right? Santa Monica, I could tell, right? With two moms, right? It's crazy.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women. But as graduation approached, I began feeling like I'd been handed so much in life, a sorority girl stereotype. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved?
It's like, I can't take this anymore. I gotta skip it.
I found it, a way to prove my inner strength, and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
So now she's in the army, but she had two moms. I mean, it's just crazy, man. Where's the masculine role model at, right? Where's the masculine role model in your life? Because, I mean, being in the army and fighting, you can't say that's a feminine role right there. You know, men are literally built to fight, right? Literally, biologically, right? I mean, it's just crazy. So, I mean, I don't know, man. All right. So that's America for you, right? Finished, as a brother said. Finished. You know, brother says, get the arcade visit, nothing but Esau's lies. Gone. Exactly. Finished, man. It's finished out here, man. Right? Yeah, gone. And the brother said, why does it start there? It doesn't crazy. It doesn't. It's just crazy, man. Right? It's just crazy. You see what the right and you know, you still have the Marine commercial. I don't know. I haven't seen a Marine commercial in a while, but you know, I remember when I was a kid, you know, it was like, hey, you got the helicopters and the guys, you know, jump out and stuff like that, and like, hey, the few, the proud. I'm like, okay, yeah, kind, you know, but now, hey, who knows what type of commercial they got now? I don't know, you know, I don't know, man. All right, but yeah, you definitely have these type of people in the army now, and that's America's army. All right, the few, the proud, man, the few, the proud. It's crazy. All right, it's crazy. Anyways, what type of pride are we talking about? What type of pride are we talking about now? You know, but so like, let's go back to that, man. Let's go back to that. All right, go back to that. So yeah, after that, all right, that little clip. Isaiah 19 and verse yeah, so 16, yeah, we touched on that. So let's touch on verse 17 now, right? So it says, "In the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt, Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which ye have determined against it. So the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. What does that mean? Does it mean the actual land of Judah? No, we are the land of Judah, right? We are the land of Judah, man. Right? We are Jerusalem. Because let's go to Luke chapter 21 and verse number 36.
Bring that up.
Luke 21 and 24. Not 24, right? Get that real quick.
This is Luke 21 and 24.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
You want 24?
Yeah, 24, yep.
Okay, come. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive unto all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
That's right. So it says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. So is that the actual Jerusalem? Yeah, on one fold, but on another fold, that's talking about what? Us. We are Jerusalem. Right. This is we were a people before we were a place. Israel was an actual people before it was a place, man. Before it was called the land of Israel. Israel was a person. So we are Jerusalem. We are the people that's being trodden down of the Gentiles. Because we get trodden down of the Gentiles anywhere we go, get trodden down of the Gentiles. Most I said, wherever you go, these curses gonna follow you. Let's go to Revelation 11 and verse number 2.
This book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 2. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months.
See that? The holy city. Was that holy city going into? Yeah, the actual land of Israel, but also us, just in general, because we are that city, man. Right? We are that city. Let's go to Revelation chapter 21, right? Revelation 21 and verse number 2.
This book of Revelation, chapter 21 and verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
You see that? So that New Jerusalem that John saw, that holy city, is going into us. We are that holy city, man. Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. Our husband being who? The Most High. Through his son Yahweh Shah. So we are that city that is talking about. And even in verse 3, it says the tabernacle of God is with men. Right? Let's go to one more verse on that. Luke chapter, I gotta find this real quick, Salakia. Luke chapter, let's see here, Salakia. Luke chapter, 17. And we can go to Luke 17 and verse 20. All right.
Luke 17 and 20. This is the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 20. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees, when the kingdom of Yahweh should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of Yahweh cometh not with observation.
So, verse 21.
Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of Yahweh is within you.
Kingdom of Yahweh is within you, man. All right. Kingdom of God is within you. So we are that kingdom. We are the Jerusalem that is going into, right? That land of Judah. Okay, because Jerusalem is in the land of Judah. So that's what that's going into. Even in Matthew 11 chapter, it talks about the kingdom of heaven suffered violence until now. That kingdom of heaven going into what? Israel. Israel suffers violence until now, right? So let's go back to that in Isaiah 19. All right, it says that the land of Israel shall be a terror. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he hath determined against it. So what that's going into is we're a terror unto Egypt. How? Because we're the prophets of doom in this land. We're the prophets of doom, right? We're the ones that's literally prophesying against Egypt in the land that we're living in. We're living in Egypt right now, and we're essentially prophesying against Egypt right now. You know, brothers literally say death, essentially death to Babylon. You know, even at the end of camp, we say that death to Babylon. While we're in Babylon right now, you know, it says everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid in himself, meaning everyone that makes mention of Judah, even mentioning the name of Judah, the name Yahweh, mentioning the name of Israel, everybody's going to be afraid. They're afraid of us, man. They can't even say our name properly. They say Black Hebrew Israelites, BHI. You know, they call us the only guys on the block, right? You know, they call us the fakers or the prophets of doom. They call us everything else besides what the Most High called us, because even mentioning our name is a terror unto them. You know, even mentioning our name, man, Judah, Yasha Allah, you know, NLT says just to speak the name of Israel would terrorize them, man. You see that? Just to speak the name of Israel. And with our name comes what? What we represent. You know, everything that we bring forth. When they hear Israel, they're going to think about what? Us on the block. Every time Israelite comes up, they're going to think about men that's terrorizing them on the streets. They're just trying to go out on Saturday and just try to get some dinner and try to just enjoy Babylon while they still got it. Then they have to come across these guys terrorizing them, you know, and saying, "Hey, you dead, you devil, shake it again." You know, they're just trying to get to their friend's house. You know, on the let's say we go to Lake Mary, got a lot of Edomites, a lot of heathen out there, just enjoying the life of Oakland, right? Just enjoying Oakland, basically. Walking by the stinky water and the damn stinky ass Oakland, man. Right? And just walking there, and then now you come across all the brothers, man. Brother Yowanathan's getting on you out of nowhere. You know, it's like, damn, can't even escape these guys. You know, well, hey, guess what? We're terrorizing them, man. We're terrorizing them. All praises.
Hey, Salakia, real quick, we were at Lake Merritt. This was a while ago. I was on post, and I heard this Edomite. He was walking past, and he was like, he had told his friend, he was like, "Man, why are they always screaming?" You know,
Hey, that's a good point, man. Yep.
yeah. He's like, "Why are they always screaming, man?" Like he was vexed. You know.
Vexed.
And then after he passed, hey, but it's God on him, you know. But it's God on him through the Spirit.
See that?
So terrorizing the hell out of him, you know.
It's terrorizing them, man. All praises, though. You know, that's Proverbs 29 and 27, right? If you read that real quick.
This book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked.
An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is abomination to the wicked. So while we out there trying to proclaim righteousness and rehearse the righteous acts, all the wicked that's passing by is it's like kind of just like if we look at somebody eating a pork sandwich in front of us, or just pork chops, whatever. Just like how that brother, you know, we played the video talking about, you know,
Press the pork chop, man.
Pork and everything, the steam, you know, whatever. Hey, that's abomination to us. It's disgusting to us. And so it's the same way. You know, it's the same thing to them. looking at us trying to put on the fringes. We trying to, rehearse the righteous acts, man. It's abomination to them. That's why it's a dreadful sound in their ears, man. And as Barzell said, hey, they want to forget the past, and supposedly we're the ones that's holding on to it. It's holding on to the past. That's in the past, guys. We got to focus on the future, right? Well, I always like to say, well, if you don't know your past, you're not going to know what to do in the future. You're not going to make the best decisions for the future if you don't know what happened in the past, right?
Hey, Salaki, that's why they start history at the year 1600. You ask anybody in the world, hey, what happened prior to 1600? I don't know.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yep, they like to start it year 1600, man. Yeah. Well, where were all these so-called black people, or what were they doing before then? It's crazy. But anyways, Job. Let's go to Job 15 and verse number 20.
It's the book of Job, chapter 15 and verse number 20. The wicked man travaileth with pain all his days, and the number of years is hidden to the oppressor. A dreadful sound is in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him.
Dreadful sound is in his ears. What's that dreadful sound in his ears? The prophets prophesying. Yep. That's that dreadful sound. You see these Edomites just trying to walk the harbor in Baltimore. Then they come across W5 Baltimore. You see the Edomites on Peachtree Avenue in Atlanta. And then they come across W5 Atlanta, HOI Atlanta, Sakari Atlanta, all on the same block. SOT Atlanta. It's crazy. Then, hey, you go over to the West Coast, go to LA. You got people literally coming up on the metro, and then they hear, what the heck is that sound? Then you hear brothers on a mic prophesying. That's a dreadful sound in Esau's ears. It's like, yeah, you can't even get away from it. Go to the west, go to the east. You got it.
Hey, kind of like I'm like to believe they don't even want to walk by there no more. They kind of take the long way.
Yeah, they take the long way, man. Just like how if you didn't want to hear a certain type of music being played, you can't stand this song. So you're going to do everything in your power to avoid hearing this song. It's like, I don't like that song. I don't like that music. So somebody's playing this music, whatever, we try to go the other way. So the same thing with these Edomites. Dreadful sound is in his ears, man, which is the prophets on the block prophesying. It says, in prosperity, the destroyer shall come upon him. Who's the destroyer? Yahushua. That's the destroyer, man. Shall come upon him in his prosperity. When Esau is being prosperous, the destroyer shall come upon him, man. Right? Let's go to verse 22.
Salaki.
Oh, you good?
Job 15 and verse 22. And it reads, he believeth not that he shall return out of darkness, and he is waited for of the sword.
Meaning that he doesn't believe us. It's like he doesn't believe that he's going to leave the darkness. He doesn't believe us. That he shall return out of darkness. But the sword is waiting for him, man. So when we tell him that, guess what? You're in darkness right now, but the Most High is going to expose you, man. He's going to put that light upon you. That light being Yahushua. Right? He doesn't believe it. He believes that he's going to be in darkness his whole reign, because he reigns in darkness. Let's go to verse 23.
Verse 23. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? He knoweth that the day of darkness is ready at his hand.
It's crazy, man. He wandereth abroad for bread, saying, where is it? That bread being what he, his delicates. Revelation chapter 18, Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, all the delicates of America. He wanders for that bread, saying, where is it? He knows that the day of darkness is ready at his hand, right? Let's go into that in a different translation as well, to solidify that. In the NIV, he says, he knows the day of darkness is at hand. NLT says they know that their day of destruction is near. So what's the precept on that? Let's go to Revelation chapter 12 and 12. Right? They know it's near, man. Right? They know it's near. Revelation 12 and 12.
Kind of like I was over here looking for this precept. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein. It's like, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
He knows that he has but a short time, man. That's why he's doing everything in his power to kind of just, live it up, basically. It's like, it's nothing we could do about it. Let's say football, I don't really pay attention too much about it, but football team, two football teams are playing. The score is literally, I don't know, let's just say 50-6. You're not winning the game, man. And it's literally it's fourth quarter. You're not winning the game. It's what they say, fourth quarter. Yeah, you're not winning the game, right? You just give it up, man. 50-6, right, or something like that. You just not. You just give up, man. So Esau knows that he has but a short time, man. He knows that he essentially can't save America. He knows that deep down in his heart, he can't save America. It's too far gone. You got a civil war brewing up. One side divided against the other side, right? I mean, he used the resources of the earth so much that it's almost irreversible. So I mean, there's nothing really he can do about it. So what he's doing now is just, just living it up now, right? That's what he's doing. He knows that he has but a short time. All right. And I see the brother Barzia kind of putting the precepts in there, man. Right? Like Isaiah 30 and 20. Right? And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed in the court anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. 1 Thessalonians 5 and 3, for when they shall say peace and safety, and then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. God, that's right. Party crashers, man. That's right. Matthew 24:37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be, man. So, all right, most definitely. But yeah, let's go back to that. So that's what that means, man. Everyone that makes mention of Judah shall be afraid because of what the Most High is planning to do to Egypt. And the only reason and the only way Egypt is able to know what the Most High is going to do to them is by the way of the prophets, right? That's the only way. So that's why they're afraid when they hear Judah, when they hear Israel, when they hear Yasha'Allah. Let's go to verse 18.
Verse 18. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan and swear to the Lord of hosts. One shall be called the city of destruction.
So 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan. Language of Canaan being Hebrew. They spoke Hebrew. So if 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak Canaan, the language of Canaan, meaning, what does that mean? That means that they're speaking Hebrew. And that word, and that 5 cities it's not going into actual 5 cities. It's like a literal 5 city. All right, so we have Memphis, we have Cairo, we have Alexandria, we have, et cetera, et cetera. No, these are not actual 5 cities in Egypt. 5 is the number of completion in the Bible. How do we prove that? Let's go firstly to the book of, gotta look at this. Take some notes on this one. Let's go to Genesis 43:34.
Genesis 43:24.
Yeah, 43:34.
This book of Genesis, chapter 43, verse 34. And he took 34, right?
Yeah.
And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him.
So meaning that his food, his meal and stuff, it was 5 times so much as any of theirs. Because, Joseph, he knew that Benjamin was essentially his brother from the same mom. So he was like, hey man, I'm gonna treat the, Benjamin, the youngest, I'm gonna treat him well, man. So he gave him 5 times as much, right? So 5 is the number of completion in the Bible. Let's go to Genesis 45:22. Genesis 45:22. Right? I can read it then. It says, to all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. Right? 5 changes of raiment. You see that? So 5 is a number of completion, as we see in the Bible. There's a lot of number of completion. You got 3, you got 5, you have 7, you got 10, you have 12. So there's a lot of number completions in the Bible that the Most High uses. It's called numerology, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14 verse 19. Well, actually, before we go there, let's go to Exodus 22 verse 1. So lucky.
But Exodus chapter 22 verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
Yeah, so it's even in the law. If you steal an ox, right? If you steal it and kill it or sell it, you have to give 5 oxen for that 1 ox and 4 sheep for that 1 sheep. So 5, again, number of completion. Let's get 2 more to get 5 precepts on 5 being the number of completion, right? Corinthians 14:19. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 14:19.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 14 verse 19. Yet in the church I had rather speak 5 words with my understanding, that by my voice I might teach others also, than 10,000 words in an unknown tongue.
Yeah, you see that? So it says 5 words with my understanding. See that? Why do you say 5? Well, 5 is just a number of completion. And he could have said 7. He said 5. So you could also use it like that. And one more, let's get the 5th one. Revelation, I believe is 9 and 13, 9 and 10.
Content.
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 9 and verse 10. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months.
Yeah, their power is to hurt men 5 months. Is the actual 5 months? No. 5 months going into a certain period of time to where the Most High says, all right, it is enough. All right, so 5 months. Okay. And also 10 too, as well. 10 is not completion as well. All right. So yeah, let's go back to that then. Right. So it says 5 cities shall speak the language of Canaan. Five cities shall speak the language of Canaan and swear to the Lord of hosts. So meaning that, and again, this is also a precept as a prophecy to show that in the last days, you're going to have brothers in cities all across America speaking that Paleo Hebrew, right? That language of Canaan, that Paleo, that ancient Hebrew, man. And they like to make fun of us because we don't speak the modern Hebrew. No, we're not speaking that modern Hebrew, man. All right? Speaking that ancient Hebrew.
Yiddish.
Yeah, Yiddish, modern Hebrew, modernized. You know, instead of Khan, they say kin. Instead of shalom, they say shalom. You know, so it's a modernized Hebrew that was mixed in with a lot of different languages. That's why it sounds like that. And so we speak that ancient Hebrew, and so this is a prophecy to show forth that we're trying to speak the language of Canaan, even though we're in the land of Egypt. So brothers say Shalom, brothers say Yahweh Shem Shah, brothers try to use the Hebrew. It says, swear to the Lord of hosts, when shall be called the city of destruction? Right? Meaning that essentially America, right, is going to be destroyed. When shall be called the city of destruction? So these 5 cities in the land of Egypt is one to a certain amount of cities in America to where we're trying to speak the language of Canaan. We're swearing to the Most High, meaning that we're professing the name of the Lord, right, in our hearts, with our words, right? That's essentially what we're doing in this land of Egypt. We shall serve our enemies in our land, it's like in a foreign land. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30. All right. Let's get Deuteronomy 30 and verse 1.
Come on, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God had driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
There you go. Here you go. So this is us fulfilling that prophecy of us coming back to the Most High in the land of our captivities. In the land of Egypt right now, we're speaking that language of Canaan. Right? We're swearing to the Lord. Right? We're obeying the voice of the Most High. And that language of Canaan meaning what? This truth. We're professing this truth in this land. We're speaking like how we used to speak back then in the language in land of Canaan. Right? We're speaking that language of Canaan. What do you have in the land of Canaan? Right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse number 7.
Come on. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 7. For the Lord thy God bringeth thee into a good land, a land of brooks of water, of fountains and depths that spring out of valleys and hills, a land of wheat and barley and vines and fig trees and pomegranates, a land of oil, olive, and honey, a land wherein thou shalt eat bread without scarceness, thou shalt not lack anything in it, a land whose stones are iron, and out of whose hills thou mayest dig brass.
God. So that's the land of Canaan. That's the promised land. And so if we're speaking the language of Canaan, meaning what? We're professing those good words of that wheat, that barley, the vines, the fig trees, we're essentially we're essentially going back to how we were, because with a language comes culture. Every language is tied in with its culture, right? You can't, when you learn a language, you also learn the culture that that language comes with. So people that speak different languages understand as well, right? If you speak Spanish, especially, and there's different types of Spanish, definitely, but there's certain words in that language that essentially are not present in English, and they're very tied in with the culture of Spain and of different Spanish speaking countries, where mattering where you speak Spanish at or where you learned it from. That culture is very tied into it. Even in English, right? That culture that the English comes with is very tied in with it. So when you speak that language of Canaan, you're also coming with that culture as well that we're trying to go back to. So now you're coming in that spirit as well of what? Of how we were back then. You see that? So that's essentially what that's also going into. All right. It's going into the Hebrew, but it's also going into the fact that we're coming back to our own traditions as we were in the land of Canaan. You know. So yeah, we'll keep going on that though.
Con Isaiah 19 and 19. In that day there shall be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof to the Lord.
So an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt. So who is that altar? We're the altar in the land of Egypt. The pillar at the border thereof to the Lord. We are the altar. Because we are the temple. We're the church.
That's right.
Okay. So let's go to Revelation 11 and 1 on that.
Con, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 1. And it was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, and them that worship therein.
God, there you go. So it says, measure the altar. Right. Let's go to Revelation 11. Right. It says, rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. So again, because the those that worship therein in the temple, right, is going into the Israelites, and the court that is without the temple is going into the heathen. They can't come into the temple because we are the temple, if that makes sense. All right, they can't come in. We worship at the altar at the temple, right? Let's go to and there's more precepts on that too. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20. All right, I'm trying to find this precept as well on that. But let's go to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20 though.
Con, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20. Con, it's Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20. And are built upon the foundation of the apostles and prophets, Yahweh HaMashiach himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth into an holy temple in the Lord. In whom, Salakia,
Oh yeah, you got it. You can finish it.
it says, in whom ye also are builded together for an habitation of Yahweh through the Spirit. God.
That's right. So Yahweh is that foundation upon which the temple is built, and we're building upon that foundation. It says, in whom all the building fitly framed together groweth unto a holy temple in the Lord. So we are the temple of the Most High in the spiritual level. Let's go to the classic 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 16.
God.
Where there was another one though.
Con is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are.
Khan, that's right. So we are the temple of the Most High. No, you're not that you are the temple of the Most High. You see that? Let's go to Hebrews, the 3rd chapter. I think this is what I wanted. Let's go
I
to.
got a precept after you.
Okay, you can get your precept, and I'll get mine.
Okay, Con, all praises, all praises. Con, it's in the book of John, John chapter 2.
Oh,
Con, this is the book of John chapter 2 and verse 19. It says, Yahushua answered and said unto them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days will I raise it up again. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. See that?
Khan.
Okay, so that temple, man, I was talking about his body. He wasn't talking about, man, building that, framing, and now you bring the drywall, now you kind of screwing it in with the 3/4. He wasn't talking about none of that,
Mm-hmm.
What kind you got it?
Khan. Yep. And we are the body of Yahushua, as we see in other precepts as well. Precept to prove that we are the body of Yahushua would be Colossians chapter 1, verse 18.
Questions.
Right. It's a precept. This is the precept that links up with John 2 and 19, as the brother brought out.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 1 verse 18. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence.
Yeah, so he is the head of the body, the church. The body is the church. Right, that's what he's saying. The body is the church. All right. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 3, and the church is the Israelite. Acts 7 and verse 38 says that. But let's go to Hebrews 3 and verse 1 though. This is deep right here. So yeah, let's go.
Hebrews 3:1. Wherefore, holy brethren, partakers of the heavenly calling, consider the apostle and high priest of our profession, Mashiach Yahushua, who was faithful to him that appointed him, as also Moses was faithful in all his house. For this man was counted worthy of more glory than Moses, inasmuch as he who had builded the house had more honor than the house.
You see that? He that had built the house had more honor than the house. Right? You see that? Just like how Solomon, when he built the temple, what was it called? Was it called just the temple? It's called Solomon's temple. Solomon's temple. Because he that buildeth the house has more honor than the house. You see that? So who buildeth the house? Right? Hey, guess what? The Most High built the house. Yahushua built the house, man. Right? And what's crazy is the author of Hebrews is fire, man. He said, look, yeah, Moses, he was kind of faithful in all his house. Yes. He's quoting Numbers. Right? Yeah, Moses was faithful in all of the Most High's house. But who built the house, first of all? That's the Most High. That's the Most High. Right? So let's go to verse 4, right? It's about to say right here.
Verse 4. For every house is builded by some man, but he that built all things is Yahweh.
He that built all things is the Most High, man. Come, right? Let's go to verse 5.
Verse 5. And Moses verily was faithful in all his house, as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken after. But Mashiach as a son over his own house, whose house are we? If we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm unto the end.
That's a mighty precept, man. But Hamashiach as a son over his own house, whose house are we? We are the house, man. Right? We the house of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when it goes back into Isaiah, the altar, right? So like what it say, the pillar to the Most High in the land of Egypt, We are that pillar. We are that house, right? Whose house are we? You know, all right. Yeah, that's not. So yeah, right. Let's go back to that though in Isaiah, right, 19. So we are that house, man. We are that pillar at the border to the Lord, man. Let's go to verse 20.
Verse 20. And it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, and he shall send them a Savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them.
That's mighty too. It says, he shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt, for they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors, man. Right? This has always happened. This has always happened. Let's go back to the first captivity. In the first captivity, right?
Exodus.
Let's go to Exodus, chapter 3, and we can start at verse. I think I want to start at verse 7.
Count. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verse 7. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt, and have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters, for I know their sorrows. Right? It says, Salakia, go ahead.
No, you got it. You can read on.
God. And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a good land, and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites.
Right.
Now, therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them.
The same Egypt, man. The same Egypt. Right. Same spirit, man. You had in ancient Egypt, we were sighing and crying unto the Most High, man. The Most High said, behold, the cry of the children of Israel has come up unto me. I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them, man. I've seen the oppressions. I see how they're treated in this captivity. I see how they're mourning and how they're crying unto me. And I've heard their cries, man, and I have come to answer them. You know, what's crazy is let's go to the prior chapter. Let's go to Exodus chapter 2, and let's skip down to verse 23.
Exodus 2 and 23. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And the Most High looked upon the children of Israel, and Yahweh had respect unto them.
So this precept is mighty too, because it talks about how the children of Israel signed by reason of the bondage, and they're crying, and their cry came up unto the Most High. You see that? The cries of the children of Israel came up to the Most High, and he heard their groaning. The Most High remembered his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see that? And he had respect unto Israel as his chosen people. This precept is mighty, man. Right? Mighty. And then next chapter, he sends forth Moses. He talks to him and says, go to Pharaoh, bring my people out of Egypt. Right? So just like how it happened in the first Egypt, it's going to happen again in the second Egypt. That's why when we go back to that in Isaiah 19, verse 20, it says, it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. Because at the end of the day, when you go to Isaiah 44, right? And let's see here, Isaiah 44. What is this? Let's see here, right? Is it even Isaiah 47? Right? Could be 40. Oh, it's lucky, not 47. It's lucky. Right? Where is this? Oh, 43, Salakia. Isaiah 43 verse 10. Right, let's get that real quick.
Isaiah chapter 43, verse 10. Ye are my witnesses, said the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, that ye may know and believe me, and understand that I am he. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall be after me.
That's right. So it says, "You're my witnesses," and so that's why it says, "It shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt." Right? We're a sign and a witness unto the Lord right here in this land, crying and sign unto the Most High. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors. Right? We're being oppressed in this land right now. Right? That's why this land is called what? Sodom and Egypt on a spiritual level in Revelation 11 and 8. You know, God. Let's go to let's get the Apocrypha, right? Let's go to Second Esdras, right? Second Esdras 15. Go to that real quick as well. Second Esdras 15. I want to see what I want to start at though. Verse number 8.
Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, right? Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. You see that? What is that going into? That's going into in and out, right? On the physical realm and in the spiritual realm as well. The souls of the just are complaining continually. So the Most High hears the sighs and the cries of not only us that's down here in the physical realm, but also of all the billions of Israelites that have been unjustly killed, that have been oppressed, that have been serving in this land for the so-called white man, for Esau, and have gave up the ghost, and that came back up to the Father and is complaining in the Father's ears, man. He's hearing all that. The righteous blood crieth unto me. The Trayvon Martins of the world, the the Sandra Blands, all of them. Both kingdoms, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. All the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, man. Right?
I got a precept.
You got your precept there.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 6. And it's Psalm 6 and 6, right? It's the spirit right here. It said, hey, even David had that same spirit. He said, I am weary with my groaning all the night. Make I my bed to swim. I water my couch with my tears. You know? Hey, so he was crying unto the Lord too. Hey, he wanted this thing to just, kind of hurry up in this thing, no folly, but hey, we getting depressed,
Yep, exactly. I'm weary with my groaning, man. Brothers shed tears in this land, man. Let's keep going in that though. Second Ezra 15.
Second Ezra chapter 15 and verse 9. And therefore said the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Right. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with a plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. That's it
on that. But it's again, yeah. Egypt's going to mourn because of what they did to Israel. Right now, the brother had pulled a precept. You know what I'm saying? Psalms 86 and verse number 3. You know what I'm saying?
Psalms chapter 86 and verse 3, right? And it reads, "Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily."
Yeah, I cry unto thee daily. That's a mighty precept right there.
It's mighty.
Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
Come on.
Yeah, people is in mourning right now. Yeah. Right? Our people's in mourning. Right? Of course. Why wouldn't we be in the mourning right now? Right? Let's go to another precept real quick as well. What is this precept? Yeah, escape me.
Hey, Salakia, can I finish that off in 13 at Second Esdras? That's mighty. It says Second Esdras 15 and 13. It says, "They that till the ground shall mourn." Right? For their seeds shall fail through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. You know, so hey, that's us, man, being out there, man, tilling the ground, really getting it, you know. But yeah, man, hey, sighing and crying every day, waiting for the second coming of my Sheikh Yahushua, you know, hoping and praying we delivered, you know.
Yep. I remember that now. Let's go to Ezekiel 9 and 4 through the Spirit.
Come on, let's book of Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 4. "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." God.
Moses said, set a mark upon their head for all those that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of Jerusalem. And we see all the abominations being done in the midst of Jerusalem, man. Murders, idolatry, adultery, everything. You know, we want to sigh and cry unto the Most High because he hears that. You know, let's go to Luke chapter 18 and verse 1.
Luke chapter 18 and verse number 1. "And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint, saying,
Right.
There was in a city a judge, which feared not the Most High, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, Avenge me of mine adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, Though I fear not the Most High, no, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me."
so this is the parable of the unjust judge. But the Lord, this is a parable, right? So the Lord, he's like, look, it's a judge. He doesn't fear the Most High, doesn't regard man. But, you know, it's a widow in that city. She keeps crying unto the judge day by day, day by day. And he's saying like, okay, well, shoot, man. It's like, you keep begging me to do this. All right. You know, all right, man, I'll do it. You know, you're just annoying and say, all right, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, sometimes being annoying, you could actually get what you want. Right? And so what the Lord is saying with this parable is saying, like, look, you want to basically annoy the Most High with your prayers. You want to annoy him. Every day you praying, Most High, Yahweh, please take down Esau. Right? Whatever you begging the Lord. annoy the Lord, basically, man. You know, and sooner or later, guess what? He's gonna make it happen. You know, that's what Yahweh Shah is essentially saying. Let's go to verse 6.
Verse 6. And the Lord said, hear what the unjust judge saith. And shall not the Most High avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?
Yep, he's going to avenge them speedily. The elect cry day and night unto him. Most High said, look, he's going to avenge them speedily, but when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth? All right. Shall he find faith on the earth? So let's go back to that, though. Isaiah 19. So, I mean, we only have a couple more verses, so we might as well just finish it right now. Let's go to verse 21.
Verse 21. And the Lord shall be known to Egypt, and the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day, and shall do sacrifice and oblation. Yea, they shall vow unto the Lord and perform it.
Yeah, and also, Salakias, you want to touch on real quick, the Savior and a great one is talking about none other but Yahweh Shah. Right? Yahweh Shah, the Lord says he's going to send Yahweh Shah down. Precept on that real quick. Jeremiah 23 and 5. Right? 23 and 5 to show that that's Yahweh Shah.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 5. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth.
Verse 6.
It says, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name, whereby he shall be called Yahweh our righteousness.
That's right, man. Yahweh Shah. That's Yahweh Shah. It says, David, a righteous branch, and the king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. And he shall save Judah, he shall save Israel. So that great Savior is talking about none other but Yahweh Shah, right? So yeah. And verse 21, it says, you know, the Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day. Remember, these Egyptians, just like how we're called Americans. If you live in America, if you're born in America, you have what's called American citizenship. So you will be called an American. You know, go apply for a passport, U.S. citizen, you have an American passport. All right. You know, I have a passport. Kind of see it, you kind of open it up, the passport, it's U.S. flag and everything. And on one page, it's what is it? It's the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see that star? Oh, say, can you see that star spangled? You know, I don't know it, but you know, but yeah. So it's all of this. So you're American citizen, man. All right. So you're called an American. So it's the same thing. The Egyptians shall know the Lord in that day and shall do sacrifice and oblation. How we're doing sacrifice and oblation spiritually. Let's get a precept on that. First Peter, chapter 2, and verse number 5.
First Peter chapter 4, verse 5. Who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead?
First Peter 2 and 5.
Oh, Salakia. They said First Peter 4 and 5. First Peter 2 and 5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Most High by Yahushua Mashiach. Right? Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Sion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded.
So these spiritual sacrifices is going into what? The sacrifice that we're making right now. keeping the commandments is a sacrifice. You have Sirach 35 and verses 1 on down.
Come on.
You know? So we're making sacrifices. You present your body as a living sacrifice. Romans chapter 12, verse 1. So these are the sacrifices that we're offering right now, all right, in this land, in the land of Egypt. When it says that they shall offer sacrifice and oblation, they shall vow a vow unto the Lord and perform it, all right? In the land of our enemies, we're doing that. And what does that prove? It proves that you can keep the commandments outside of Israel. Just because you're not out in Israel, the land, doesn't mean you can't keep the commandments to the best of your ability. And there's many precepts that prove that, but this is one of the precepts. All right. So yeah, let's keep going on that.
Come on, verse 22. And the Lord shall smite Egypt. He shall smite and heal it. And they shall return even to the Lord. And he shall be entreated of them and shall heal them.
The Lord shall smite Egypt, he shall smite and heal it, and they shall return even to the Lord, and he shall be entreated of them, shall heal them. Now, onefold, this is going into us. He's going to smite us, but the Lord's going to heal us. Moses said, thou hast destroyed thyself, but in me is thy help, in the book of Hosea. So the Most High is just as much as he's going to smite us, he's also going to heal us and return unto us. And that's how you know that that's going into us. Return even unto the Lord. Now, of course, the actual Egyptians will serve the Most High as well. And this is how we know this can't be talking about the actual Egyptians. Because in the book of Zechariah, we see what? A hierarchy. When you go to Zechariah 14, and verse number 16, it says what?
Come on, Zechariah 14 and 16. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Right.
And it shall be.
It's like you keep reading. Okay.
Oh, Salagah. And it shall be that whoso will not come up out of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
You see that? So if family Egypt go not up, they're not going to have any rain, and the Most High is going to smite Egypt. So it can't be talking about the actual Egypt right here, verse 9 in chapter 19. All right, it can't be. They shall return meaning that they were once with the Lord in the first place. So they would have to return back to the Lord. That's going into Egypt, which that's going into Israel. And he shall be entreated of them and shall heal them. The Most High has to heal us, man, with his word. And essentially, again, I brought this out to say that, yeah, of course, in the end times and in the kingdom of heaven, you're still going to have the Egyptians there. But, they're going to be healed to a certain extent. When you go to, let's go to real quick, Revelation chapter 22. All right, Revelation 22. And verse number 2. Yeah, they're going to be, healed to a certain extent.
Come on, this is Revelation 22 and 2. In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were of the healing of the nations.
So the leaves of the tree for the healing of the nations. Yeah, so these nations, they're going to be healed, but not to the certain extent as Israel will be. All right. Let's go to verse 23.
Come on, verse 23. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Assyrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into Assyria, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians.
Essentially going into northern kingdom and southern kingdom, all Israel. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 11 and 16.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 16. And there shall be an highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came up out of the land of Egypt.
You see that? So it's the same phraseology we see. It shall be a highway for the remnant of his people. Right? Just like how Israel came out of the land of Egypt. So that highway is a spiritual way of saying that the Most High is going to lead us out of these lands. He's going to lead us out of Egypt. He's going to lead us out from all the lands that we were brought out of and that we were brought to, essentially, and go back to Israel. He's going to have to deliver us. He's going to make that highway via what? Via the chariots. That's how he's going to do it, right? Even when you go to Jeremiah, back to Jeremiah 23 and 7, it even says what? Let's go to Jeremiah 23 and 8.
Jeremiah 23 and 8. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them. They shall dwell in their own land.
They shall dwell in their own land. Hold on, somebody. Right. They shall dwell in their own land. So it says, so in the kingdom of heaven, the Most High is going to be known for bringing us out of the north country, which is Babylon, and from all countries whither I had driven them. So that's that highway right there. You see that? That's the highway. Let's go to the book of Hosea. This is Hosea 9:6. Oh, Salaki, no, that's something else. Right? Where is this at? Hosea. Hold on. I gotta look back at this. Right. Hosea 9 and 6. Hosea 9 and 3.
Hosea 9 and 3.
Yeah.
It's Hosea 9 and 3. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things in Assyria.
So, when it says Assyrians and the Egyptians in Isaiah 19, it's really code name for northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Assyria, Egypt and Assyria are the two major captivities, the first two major captivities that we essentially went into as a nation. Egypt being the very first, and then you have the second major captivity. Now, of course, you did have lesser captivities between that period of time. Like, for example, in the book of Judges, it does talk about us being under the hand of Cushan Rishathaim, which is, king over Mesopotamia for about 8 years, and then also in the hands of other men as well, right, for a period of certain years. Also, during the time of Samson, we were in captivity with the Philistines for a certain period of time. But, according to the Bible, these are not major captivity. We're talking about major world powers. And at the time, Egypt was a world power when we were in captivity. And during the time of Assyria, around Isaiah's time, is an actual world power as well. And, there's a lot of prophecies of Assyria attacking Egypt. All right. Isaiah chapter 20 is an example. So these are two major world powers and two major captivities that Israel went through during this time. And so what it's symbolic of is symbolic of all Israel, right? Because during the time of Isaiah, Israel didn't go into captivity to the Greeks yet. They didn't go into captivity to the under the hand of Cyrus yet. They didn't go into captivity under the hand of the Romans yet. So in order to bring that phraseology, or to essentially have a code word, right? Because again, the Bible's in code. To put it into layman terms, the Assyrians and the Egyptians is going into all of Israel, right? Let's go to Isaiah again. So it says, there shall be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria, and the Syrian shall come into Egypt, and the Egyptian into the Syrian, and the Egyptian shall serve with the Assyrians. Right? You want to bring your priest up on that? Jeremiah 50.
Con, yeah, Con. Yeah, that's the one I had, Con. Praises. Con is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, and verse 4. It says, in those days and in that time, said the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together, going and weeping. They shall go and seek the Lord their God. They shall ask the way to Zion with their faces thitherward, saying, come and let us join ourselves to the Lord in the perpetual covenant that shall not be forgotten. So the same precept in Jeremiah or in Isaiah 19 and 23, but that highway, on a spiritual level, we're gonna ask to go the way to Zion.
Yep.
Where's that highway at? Lord, show us this highway so we can, get to walking through the Spirit. But Con, you got it.
Con, that's right. Because during the time of Isaiah, you had to split between the kingdoms. Northern kingdom was vexing Israel. Judah. Judah was vexing northern kingdom. And so it's a prophecy going into how in the end times, that wall of perdition, or that wall of being, what's it called, partition, of being against each other, the Most High is going to break that out, and we're going to serve together. We're going to serve the Most High together. So when you go to Isaiah 11 and verse 13, let's read that real quick.
Con, Isaiah 11 and 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
Yeah, so the Most High is going to rid that out. It's going to get that envy and that vexation between the kingdoms out of here, man. All right? And we're going to serve the Most High together. All right?
Con.
Yeah, we can keep going on that.
Con. This Isaiah 19 and 24. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land. Right? Whom the Lord of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, mine inheritance.
Wow. So Christians, they like to go here sometimes and saying, blessed be Egypt, my people. Well, here's the thing, man. If you want to save all nations, it doesn't save all nations here. It says Egypt and Assyria and Israel. Where's the all nations at? So you would have to change. You would have to say only Israel, Egypt, and Assyria can be the Lord's people. That's what you would have to say. You can't say all nations, right? Egypt, Assyria, and Israel. And you see how that doesn't make any sense? Because the Most High, he never chose anybody else. This has to be code word for something. All the Lord is doing here is saying, Egypt, my people, just like how he would say the Corinthians are my people too. Right? And we know the Corinthians to be Israelites in the church of Corinth. He would say the Thessalonians are my people too. Well, the people of the church of Thessalonica are what? Are Israelites. The people of the church of Galatia. So it's just calling, the Most High is just essentially calling us after the names that we're called in this world. Egypt my people, Assyria the work of my hands, and Israel mine inheritance. The Most High, he never chose anybody else. All right, we're that chosen people, and there's only one chosen race. You know, even in the New Testament, 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9 in the ESV, it says, "But you are a chosen race. Ye are a chosen race." It's not, you know, if this is the case, that the Egyptians now can enter into the fold and the Assyrians now are part of the Lord's people. Well, why is there still one chosen race in the New Testament? It should be, you know, Peter should have said, "But you are a chosen race along with the Egyptians and the Assyrians." No, he didn't say that. He said, "Ye are a chosen race," one race, right? And again, Exodus 11:7, that scripture cannot be broken, right? The Lord said he doth put a difference between Egypt and Israel. So if we're to say that these are real Egyptians, then you're breaking that scripture, right? Let's get that real quick. Let's go to Exodus 11:7. Then you're saying that the Lord is lying here, basically, right? You're saying that the Lord is lying here.
This is book of Exodus chapter 11 and verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
There's a difference between Egyptians and Israel. So, you know, it wouldn't make any sense, right? I'll say that. It wouldn't make any sense. And even if you want to talk that, okay, well, they're part of the fold. But here's the thing. Revelation 21 says there's only 12 gates. Where's the 13th and the 14th for Egyptians and Assyrians? Right? So, I mean, you know, again, they try to go into the prophecy, try to break it down. Well, that's not what it's talking about. These are code words for how Israel is called after these other nations. All right. And guess what? Moses was called an Egyptian. Moses is called the Egyptian, right? Was he not? He wasn't called when he was Pharaoh's Pharaoh's basically Pharaoh's son. He was called an Egyptian, but he's really what, an Israelite by ethnicity. All right, so all praises. But yeah, we finished Isaiah 19. All praises.
All praise to the Most High.
In 3 increments, we finished strong through the Spirit. All praises. And so we're finna wind down, close it out through the Spirit. This time you can bring out your closing precepts, Doc.
All praises. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 4 and verse 8. It says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen in me do, and the God of peace shall be with you." You know, so everything that we've seen, everything we've heard, everything we've learned, everything we've read, you know, everything that the Lord has shown us through the Spirit, we got to continue on those things. He said, and the God of peace shall be with you, right? So let's keep enduring all things for the elect's sake. It's fourth quarter. Let's endure a little more, a little longer. We almost at the, we almost at the finish line. But come.
Oh, that's right, man. All praises. All praises. Mighty words of exhortation, man. Lucky. Yeah, I'm gonna get this precept. Sirach 51. As always. Sirach 51 and verse number 16. I bowed down mine ear a little and received her and gat much learning. I profited therein, therefore will I ascribe the glory unto him that giveth me wisdom. Right? Man, it was a precept in the Psalms, man. It was a precept in the Psalms that I just remember that I want to get it's lucky. Psalms 18 and 46. Let me end it off with that actually.
Come on.
Psalms 18. All right, that precept just reminded me of this one. Fire precept. Psalms 18 and verse 46. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, and let the God of my salvation be exalted. Bahashim Mashiach Yahushua. God, so this is the exaltation for the Most High, man. All praises be unto the Most High God, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. We do this for him, and also elect sake that they also may be saved. So with that, all praise to the Most High. Brother Yasha
Brother, you want it done.
come back to yet another preset. It's like another video through the spirit. Probably how about Chanel Shah is 12:04 on the West Coast. Video out the waterfall that's tuning in. How about Chanel Shah Barakathon to the 12. Kwame Yasha Allah.
Kwame Yasha Allah. Shalom.